Hi there, this is Sue Stapp, and I am here to share with you the Zoom cards that we are making for September 2021. And I want to thank everyone who's continued to join in on the Zooms with me. This has been a way that we've been able to still create and not have to worry about social distancing. That's good. As the virus continues, some of us are more in danger of contaminating us or our loved ones by socializing. So I know that this has been a way for us to get our card making in. And I'm very happy for that because I love making cards with you guys. And the ones that we are doing this month have the Plentiful Plants bundle. And there's 4 cards, as you know, that we do. And the 4 that I'm going to show you, the first one is this one. And as you know, you can modify these with however you want to design your card. You can use the parts that I've supplied, or if you want to use different ones, you can. And that includes the sentiments. There's some lovely sentiments in this set, and I chose one that I thought went well with this. But certainly if you have a sentiment you'd want to use other than what's in the set, you can do that too. Excuse me. So this, I cut for you, die cut the window for you. This is from an earlier stamp set that it's now retired, but I love the window aspect of it, and I thought, it looks like it's a inside shot, nice blue skies outside. That must be Carolina blue, huh? But I wanted to share this one with you. And so what it is, we use a standard card base. And this is Calypso Coral. And this is DSP that coordinates with that we use as a wallpaper. Now the one thing I will stress to you is that these kits have a lot of pieces. Some of them are scrap pieces that you'll be using to do your flowers and pots and plants. Some of them are actual parts to the cards, so be very careful whenever you open your set. This is the window piece, and the blue gets adhered right to the back of this. You want to do that before you adhere it to the front of the card. And then it's going to get layered with the shelf. And what I did was I cut this shelf, so if you want to put the window in the middle, put the shelf under the whole thing, or as I have done in this sample, I just cut that piece for the shelf and put the 3 plants on there to the side. So again, you can do that how you desire. There's some scrap DSP in here for you to use for the flower pots, and you also get the sentiment piece in here. Now in most of these you're going to find 2 pieces of the white cardstock, and one's going to be for the inside of the card, which is our typical, and this other piece is going to be for you to stamp your plants and your pots. Now you can use whatever colors you want. I used crumb cake, and for this one I used the new shaded, or not new, the shaded spruce, one of my favorite colors. I did stamp off for this one to make it a little lighter. This one is garden green. You can use whatever greens you have in your stash though. It doesn't have to be the same ones that I used. And actually if it's like some of my plants, sometimes you need to use yellow or brown. Oops, that's not supposed to happen. So that's card number 1. Card number 2 is, gotta keep these in order so I can put them together. Card number 2 is this one, and it's on a black base. I don't use black bases too often because, I don't know, I just don't even think of it, unfortunately. It's very dramatic though. And what I've done here is I've used the gray granite. And the gray granite I have embossed for you with a 3D embossing folder called Bricks and Mortar. And so this has that brick and mortar look, and that's going to get adhered to the front of the card. And then you're going to have the DSP pieces that I've cut for you. The green piece I put here, and the brown piece I put over it. Now what's going to happen is you're going to adhere the white piece onto the front of this, and you can go ahead and stamp your pot on here. Just be sure and leave enough room for your plant. And then I gave you a scrap of the gray granite to use for your hanger. So you'll stamp your pot, and on this one, to coordinate with the DSP, I used the cinnamon cider that is one of our 2000 to 2022 in colors. So this is for your macrame hanger, and there's also a little black sequin in your kit. And this one has a little note that's stamped on the scrap piece. And as per the other one, you have the white inside. Now there's not a lot of white needed for the scrap, so you have this piece here to do your plant and the sentiment there. So that is card number 2. And for card number 3, I want to keep these all together so no one's cards have missing pieces. For card number 3, we have this one. And this one uses a couple different things. First of all, it's Early Espresso is our card base. And it goes great with any of these cards because of the brown, of course, and plants. And then there is a piece of DSP. Now you can use either side. This one looks like wood, and this one looks like a textile. So you can use either piece, whichever you want. And then there's going to be a piece of the, what is that called? Paper lattice, brain cramp. But that's in your kit also, and that looks like this. And it's very thin, so you want to be very careful how you glue this. It came this way. I didn't cut this out for you, so what I did was I just glued each one of the dots, just a little dab, and then I placed it down on the front here. And like I said, you can use either side of the DSP. And then there's some scraps here for you, and this is another one that, you know, be very careful when you're doing this because there'll be pieces falling out of your card. And there's going to be a white piece to use for your plants and a white piece for the inside. And then this is the punch. This is called Story Label Punch, and I used that one. Now what I did was I heat embossed the thank you. So if you have a heat gun and white embossing powder, you can heat emboss that part. And then the So Very Much I did in black. If you do not want to heat emboss it, you can do it all in black, or you can use Early Espresso and do it in the dark brown. That would be a nice contrast too. So I think you're really gonna like this one. The paper lattice makes a nice touch on the card. So that is card number 3. We are just buzzing along here. And let me put all this back in here. Again, I don't want to lose any pieces. So card number 3. 3, and the instruction sheets. Card number 4. This one is so pretty, and it's so light and bright. This one is done in Highland Heather card base. Now this one I did cut from the lengthways so that it opens to the top, and just for something different, I didn't make any fancy fold cards this month in our set. Because the plant sets just kind of stand alone on themselves. So this one has, like I said, Highland Heather as the base, and then you have some DSP. Now the DSP, when you open your kit, the DSP is, you're going to use a white piece on the front. Whoops, falling out here. White piece to start with, and then you're going to put the DSP on. Now the checkered is a to represent a tablecloth, and the colored is to represent wallpaper. Now again, if you want something with pinks and yellows, you can use the other piece of that DSP, but I thought this looked pretty. And the plants contrast good against the darkness of that. Now, what you want to do is you want to put this on here, and you can glue it down. And then what I did was I went and I took a mark where I wanted to put my cut for my tablecloth. That's what this scallop piece is. Now this is cut out from the oblong shape from the Colors and Contour bundle, and I went ahead and die cut that for you, and like I say, you'll just cut it to where you want, or if you decide you want to leave it bigger, you can. There is a small sentiment on here to a dear friend, and that's what this piece is for. And I left it square. You can cut it or fishtail it, or if you want to use one of your punches for the end, you can do that too. And again, the pots and plants are all stamped and die cut. The macrame hanger is done from white, so you're going to find, actually I think there's a couple extra pieces of white in here. There's 3 pieces of white in this one, so you should have plenty to do all your plants and everything. So that is the 4th card, and if you have any questions, I would strongly suggest you prepare your dies prior to our Zoom class, because there's so many different things to cut out. So the stamping and die cutting, not dyeing, I would suggest that you do that before. And in the instruction sheet that I have here, I'm going to give you the YouTube address that you're watching this video on, and I'm also going to give you a list of the colors that I used. So thanks again for your support and continuing to stamp along with me as we zoom through the calendar. This is September 2021. Happy stamping!